So in this series, we're looking at different stories that Jesus told in his life and different stories from the life of Jesus that can help shape us as Christian business leaders. And there's a story early on in Jesus' life that I think about often, because I'm the sort of person that if there is a shortcut available, I'm tempted to take it. And what I've realized throughout my own history is that sometimes taking those shortcuts in the business world end up kind of biting you in the end. Sometimes you just have to do the hard work to get where you want to go. Early on in Jesus' ministry, this account in various forms is in all the Gospels. Jesus goes through a season of temptation. So after his baptism, he then goes and he fasts for 40 days in the desert. And there's these 3 different events where he's tempted. And I think these temptations are highly symbolic of both the real temptations of Jesus and the temptations of every Christian leader. And so they're in different order in different Gospels, but one of the temptations is there are stones there, and the devil comes to Jesus and says, hey, turn these stones to bread. And you might at first think, well, the temptation is just that he hasn't eaten for 40 days, so he's going to want to eat. But the symbolic temptation, I'm sure there, is how Jesus will come to power. If he can turn stones to bread, he's leading right now, he's about to lead a Jewish peasant movement with hungry people. And if he can use his sort of superpowers to just feed them all, they would immediately follow him anywhere that he wanted them to go. But they wouldn't understand his core message. The next temptation is Jesus is on top of the temple, and the devil says to him, throw yourself off the temple and the angels will catch you and protect you. And Jesus refuses that temptation. To me, that's the temptation of creating a spectacle. And all of us in the business world can try to do this, where we try to do something amazing, obvious. If we just had that viral video, or if we just got this one particular interview, or whatever it is that would really boost our popularity, then we could get people to follow us. The reality is that's a shortcut, and people might follow you for a minute, but eventually they'll realize they never really got to know you. So the third temptation of Jesus, the one he faces, is when the devil says, just bow down to me, just worship me, and I will give you authority over everything you see. And he shows him the entire nations, all the governments, basically offering him all the power in the world if you'll just bow down to me. And I think the devil in this story represents, of course, our own evil nature and our own selfishness. And every one of us faces this. This is the predominant test of every leader. Are we going to bow down to our own self-centeredness and run our business or run our department in a way that just serves us, serves our career, serves our pocketbook? Or are we going to, as Christians, bow down to Jesus and lead a company the way we think Jesus would lead it? And one of the things we know clearly as Jesus rejects this temptation is that he was not going to come to power that way. He was not going to make it about him. He was going to make it about God and his mission, which needs to be true for all of us. So avoiding those temptations, sort of the bread where we give people what they want just so they'll follow us, avoiding the spectacle where we make a big show of things so that we'll be popular, and then probably most importantly, avoiding our own sort of sinful self-nature and leading people and never forgetting that people are people, not numbers. They're real people, all the people we lead.